So I decided that I was going to get the iPad Pro M5. I'm upgrading from A12, which came out in 2020. Let me tell you, this is an upgrade well needed. I had my other iPad for the past 5, nearly 6 years, and it was time for a change and something to upgrade my experience. So like I said, I'm gonna do a unboxing of this along with a week impression just to give like a full scope of what's new, what are my first impressions, and see if it's worth it in your budget. This is a great opportunity for many of you to give this as a gift to someone or even to yourself, because I know many of us are contemplated on, should we get a laptop, should we get an iPad, should we get a phone, Samsung, or whatever. Apple has been a very crucial part of my experience and my content creation journey. And I remember having my first Apple product. It was an iPod Shuffle, first generation. And after that, I got hooked. It all started with an iPod. And seeing years later, I can't even like count how many years ago that was, but I've been hooked. So like I said, I'm gonna do a quick unboxing of this. I don't see many people talking about the 512 gigabyte version. I thought this was enough space for me. One, because I know that the iPad's gonna last for at least 4 or 5 years. And I always recommend for people to get Apple Care. I know many of us think it's very expensive, but guess what? It'll save you in the long run. So just in case someone steals it, what if it gets damaged, lost, or any of those things, you're covered. And it's only less than $200 additional. So I got this device from Best Buy. I had a ton of points, about $200 worth, and I thought this was a good steal. The only downside is that I couldn't get this engraved. You can only get that at Apple, but I think it's well worth it. So this is the first unboxing. This is the fun part. You know me, I love a good unboxing. You get it from this angle so you can see the whole thing. Apple Pencil separately, because I want that to definitely be engraved. This just doesn't want to come out. This is like an early birthday gift. My birthday is next year, but it's getting close to it. And plus I'm going off to do trichology, so I definitely need something to keep all my records in, especially when I start working with some clients with their scalp issues and helping them find regimens that work best for their needs. That's why. There's a tab on both sides. Did not know that. Okay, so here's the unboxing. I did not get the nano texture. You have to get a 1 terabyte or higher for that, but I don't like how it looks, and plus the blacks won't look completely black. But let's see what's inside right before we get to the device and getting it started. I can already tell you that it's noticeably lighter. And it's nice to finally have all my devices with the M chip instead of the Intel core. But as you can see right here, this is the user's tip guide. Just walking you through, welcome to the iPad, how to pair up your Apple Pencil, how to wake up the device, control center, the dock screen, and the smart connector, which is going to be used for your keyboard. So instead of USB-C, it has a Thunderbolt adapter, which makes it charge a little bit faster, and it's supposed to be a little bit better. And it comes with a power brick. And that's everything that's inside here. So let me move everything off to the side. Okay, now. So I just got the new iPad M5 chip, and I just want to show you a different walkthrough of some of the specs of what's included with this device versus my old one. So let me share my screen. So as you can see, we are in the Apple website. As you can see, there's different models. My original iPad that I had when I first started with the iPad was the iPad mini, and then over the years I realized that I needed something more professional. And when I started my business, many people don't know I was iPad only for the first 3 years of my company, and I was recording and editing everything on this device. So I had the iPad Pro second generation, so we'll look at some specs. And we'll even put the specs for, well, I won't even consider the 13-inch, but we can put it up there if you want. So, all right. Actually, let me put this right here. Put it in the middle. So as you can see, the screen sizes are the same. The main thing that was different was the screen. As you can see right here, there is the glossy screen. Um, I didn't get the nano texture because I didn't want it to not look glossy when I want my blacks to be truly black. So if fingerprints don't really matter to you, get the glossy one. And it won't charge you, I think it's $200 extra. And I don't think it's worth it, especially when you're already paying over $1,000 for a device. So as I was saying, the chip is a lot different, and the cores are definitely an upgrade. Going from 8 cores to 16 cores, I'll definitely see the difference. The introduction into Apple Intelligence. I believe the 13 and 11-inch, there really isn't much of a difference. The same specs going across. And the difference with this camera is that it can, just like I think it's the iPhone Air. It can do a lot of things with that one camera instead of using two. And many people complain about when they got their iPad that when you're doing a video call, you always have to have your device looking a certain way. You can't look into the screen just like clearly. And it looks like you're cross-eyed or you're looking off to the side. What's good about this one is that the camera is in the middle. So that's good for anyone who's doing FaceTime, Zoom, Riverside, if you're upgrading to that, or for a podcaster. It has access to center stage, which is a great update. It has access to USB-C and also the Thunderbolt. So that's an upgraded feature. Like I said, it'll make it a lot faster and run a lot smoother. It's running Wi-Fi 7 instead of 6, so it's supposed to be faster. And if you have the cellular version, you get 5G instead of 4G. You will have to get a new Apple Pencil. As you can see, it can run USB-C, but just to let you know, the second generation iPad Pencil will not work on this device. So you're gonna have to get the Pro version. Like I said, I'm gonna get mine with my engraving on it. It's free. And you have to get a new Magic Keyboard. And I believe it has the number of and the function keys. So this is the fun part when you're trying to like shop for how much storage, how much space that you need, and with all the specs that are going on, I realized that 256 may not be enough nowadays with everything being 4K, 8K, and I do a lot of documentary filming, podcasting. It eats up a lot of space, and I record all my courses on my iPad or on my phone. So, yeah. And even when I'm working with my digital camera, it shoots in 8K but formatted into 4K, and it takes up a lot of space. So it's good to have more storage, especially if you don't have access to a laptop. And if you're debating on getting a laptop or an iPad, it just depends on case by case. If you need more functionality, I understand you need to get a laptop. But if you want something to carry on the road, more portable, an extension to your computer, definitely get an iPad. It's a little bit lighter, as you can see, less than a pound, and it's a lot skinnier, I feel. So it has finished updating. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's still going, but we'll give it its time. It's definitely a lot brighter. And when you first get your device, it'll be around 70% charged, so it should last you for a couple of days. I realized that I don't need to charge my iPad up to maybe like a week at a time, and that's on heavy use, so you know that the battery is really good. And this is just letting you know how many cores and GPUs and RAM that there is on the 512 down versus the 2 TB and down. And there's access to Apple Intelligence. Even though that the battery life seems the same, trust me, it's going to be different because it has better software and more integration. It's more seamless. It's just interesting how just software updates make the battery life a lot better in most cases. And also with the better battery, the faster the charging will be and the less that you make monoxide hit the environment, you know. We're trying to save on power. And it usually takes about an hour, hour and a half to charge an iPad. It doesn't really take that long. The only thing that's different is that this does not have the ultra-wide camera. So if that's going to be a drawback for you, I'm sorry, but these new versions do not have the ultra-wide. But you can zoom in and out up to 5 times more. The camera is better. It's 12 megapixels front and back, 2 times zoom out, which is good because if you want to get those close-up shots, especially when you're working on something, especially like a film project, just like how I'm recording on multiple devices, I like having access to these different tools to make my videos pop out a little bit more. I'm practicing my editing using different functionality, editing with music. It's always fun putting these videos together and seeing how they impact people's decisions. Bluetooth 6, all the versions have Wi-Fi and cellular. You can get good deals depending on your provider, and it will also fluctuate your prices. And yeah. So I guess we can go into pricing so you can see how everything works. So, for those of you who don't know, when it comes to buying your product, you want to figure out if you should buy in full or financing. Beware of terms and conditions to make sure that you're not paying any extra. If you get it from Apple, there's no extra fee, but you have to have the Apple Card to get it monthly installments, as you can see right here, versus that. And you have to be aware of the terms of service, as in if it says 12 months, it'll be at that rate. If you still have two more payments that you have to make of like 14 months instead of the 12, you're going to be charged those extra fees. So if you get it from Best Buy, you might be able to use your points and save a little bit more money, you know? So it's just about personal preference. So first, you're going to figure out what size that you want. Do you want the 11 inch? Do you want the 13 inch? If you want it more screen real estate, it's up to you. But for me, I already have a MacBook Pro and it's a 14 inch, so I don't think I need two devices that are huge. I always go for the black, and like I said, the more pixels that these products have and the more that you use these products, whether you're a photographer or a video creator, you're definitely going to want to get at least 512, and that's just my recommendation. Anything over here, it's just extreme. I just recommend an external hard drive at that point, but 512 should be your base, not this one. But that's just my recommendation, so we'll see how much that comes out to. And as you can see right here, it's letting you know that unless if you have the 1 TB or the 2 TB model, you cannot get the nano texture. So I guess we'll just pretend that we're getting the 1 TB. So it's letting you know that it's going to be $100 more. It's up to you to justify that price. Like I said, it's personal preference. And then if you want cellular, I recommend this if you're going to be on the road and you always need access to your internet. You can talk to your phone provider, whether it's AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, or any other provider around the world that offers these features. See how much it's going to cost additional to see if it's justified and make sure that you have good hotspot and good data because you want to know how much you're going to be able to stream or do any activities away from home to make sure that it's justified the price because it's $200 more. And this is not even including tax. So we'll go with the Wi-Fi version. Well, we'll see what the cellular one looks like real quick. So it has a band like that for the cellular. There's usually a band, antenna band to let you know that it's Wi-Fi I mean, it's the cellular version. And like I said, you can engrave, you can add emojis, you can customize it the way that you want, make it stand out. You have a big selection, and this is free of charge. But just beware if you try to trade in your device, it's not going to work because it's engraved. So you lose out on that value versus if you left it how it was. So you can go with the no engraving if you want. And then you can add on the Apple Pencil. As you can see, this is another 130 bucks. You can do engravings on that as well. Just a couple of characters. We'll say no engraving in this case. And we're going to confirm that. And then the Magic Keyboard is going to cost you another 350. So just putting that out there. I always go for black, but this is what the white one looks like. And as you can see, they have a function row and a number row. And I know everybody was asking for those. So just looking at that for specs. I think the Magic Keyboard is the best keyboard that you can get for your iPad. But as you can see, these prices are going up, making it more and more expensive. And you can trade in your device, but I always keep my old one just in case one breaks or something happens. I have something to back up just in case the Apple Care warranty expires and the Apple Care Warranty works up to 2 years, and then after that, you can do monthly installments. If you want to continue it, we'll do no trade-in. Like I said, you have the option to finance it, or you can buy it. And then you're debating between Apple Care Death and Loss versus Apple Care One. Apple Care One is good for covering multiple products, whether it's the iPad, the pencil, the keyboard. You pay $20 a month until it cancels. So doing that yearly, that's $240. And I don't think there's any tax on it, but don't quote me on that. And it covers the same thing as the loss and theft. And then you can add on more products that's outside of those three for $5.99 additional. So if you look at the regular loss and theft, it says that it covers your iPad up to two claims per 12 months. So people that are purposely breaking their device or any function malfunctions or anything that happens, those urgent emergencies, it's good that you have that option right there. You get access to 24/7 support, and let me tell you, they have been very supportive being able to troubleshoot online, get access to your device. They share screen. Everything is so seamless, and you can do everything from your computer. So you don't even have to go inside a store unless if it's more hardware that they have to do, then you have to go to the Genius Bar. But I always recommend getting Apple Care. So like I said, you can start out with this right here if you don't want to pay this yearly, but that's up to you. But as you can see right here, if you get the 13-inch, 1 terabyte with the keyboard and all that, it comes out to this total right here. And you can get it picked up at the Apple Store or you can get it sent to your house. And usually they send you a code to give to the carrier and they'll hand it to you. So you don't have to worry about it getting lost or stolen in the mail. And this is what it comes with, like I just showed you. I believe with the nano texture, you get the cloth. So yeah, I can't wait to continue using this for the next week just to give like a thorough review on what I believe that this product has to offer me as a consumer, as a digital creator, as a course creator. And I love the direction that Apple is going. They're finding new ways to innovate. I know people are comparing them to other companies like Samsung and saying that they're not as innovative as before, but it's not about being the most innovative, but it's about having the most amount of impact to its clients and offering services that they need versus what you want to just shout out and features that people aren't going to use over 2 months. We want to have people enjoy the moment and embrace the little milestones that they have and keep people using their device for the long run. You want it to be like your primary device or an extension to the devices that you already have. So we have ecosystems. Same thing with Samsung. They have a clear clientele that's for it. Same thing with the Androids and the plus ones. Everybody has their own integration of software that people use and products that they love and they just can't get enough of. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will make another one in another week or two, and I'll give you my first impressions of what everything seems like. Um, yes, just let me continue. I never used Face ID, but I'm gonna come up with a passcode for this. It's gonna ask you if you want to transfer anything over. I'm just gonna hit don't transfer anything. It's gonna ask you to log in with your Apple ID. You're probably gonna get a notification on any of your devices. And then it's gonna give you a code to type in. And you want to make sure it matches. Yeah, I just wanted to fill up with all the information that I have on my old device. I still can't believe how skinny this is. And I'm not gonna be one of those people that's gonna be like, let's try to bend it and see how far it can go before it snaps. No, I bought this with my own money, so I'm not gonna do that. And then it says make this into your new iPad. I'm gonna hit continue. We'll add card later. Add card later. You can set up Apple Intelligence. I'll turn it on. No worries. You can prioritize notifications. Hey Siri. Or you can type into Siri. Oh, that's nice. Siri, how's the weather? Hey Siri, send a message. Siri, set timer for 3 minutes. Hey Siri, get directions home. Siri, play some music. And as you can see, Siri works. So it's giving you options of how you want your screen, whether it's full screen apps or full screen and windowed apps. So giving you two options. So this is what it would look like if you go that version. Make it like a Mac, or you can go the old-fashioned way. It says welcome. This is what it looks like. So yeah, follow me on YouTube, the B Perry Films Experience, TikTok and Instagram, B Perry Films, LinkedIn, Bobby L. Perry, and then Substack, B Perry Films Experience. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. See you in the next time.